The Scrum press conference, however you want to call it today, was very encouraging, but you could argue that maybe Trump is just playing tough to get a better deal, and there were some bad signs, like Rubio saying Iran's never going to have a nuclear weapon as long as Trump is president. It's like, wait, what does that mean? But there was one sign that I was surprised that you of all people missed, Armin. You're going to realize why in a second. That was more encouraging than anything they could explicitly say, which is that Pete Hegseth specifically made a point to refer to the Persian Gulf as the Persian Gulf. He didn't say Arabian Gulf. He didn't say Gulf.
CENTCOM, yeah, okay. Well, that's actually a good point. Yeah, I did miss that. Maybe because
Yeah,
I was here because I'm so used to hearing the Persian Gulf. So I
yeah, I
pay
figured.
attention when people.
You notice it once the other ones.
Yeah, I always pay attention when people don't say the right thing. I forget to pay attention to when people do say it the right thing. Wait, is this not the norm for Pete Hegseth? Is this like does he usually
No,
mention?
this
Oh,
is this is the first time. He was the biggest person who was frustrating you guys. You continually said it specifically about Pete Hegseth that they should tell him to really stop saying Arabian Gulf because he's alienating the Iranian people.
we said that
So
about CENTCOM. We didn't say that about. Have we said that about Pete Hegseth? I don't
no, but he
remember.
also he also did it in press conferences. Um,
Really? Okay.
and so yeah, and so what this means is that he got the message, and it means that he does not want to annoy the Iranian people. It means that he wants to be on the good side of the Iranian people, which tells you everything you need to know about the kind of deal that the Americans would accept. Because if, like, this means more than anything they said in the press conference that they still care about the Iranian people.
Oh my god, that's actually a good point. Can you send me that link where he says that on Telegram when you can?
Yeah,
So
you played it on the live stream. I don't remember exactly
I know,
when.
but I don't
It's when he was speaking.
I know.
I'll
I
try to
There's
find
so
it.
many of them. There's like 20 of them. So just to get it just to get this right, Pete Hegseth used to say people in the YouTube chat are also saying like, yeah, he used to say Arabian Gulf. Pete Hegseth used to
All
say
the time.
Arabian Gulf, and he now is saying Persian Gulf, which shows a level of care from this administration to what the Iranian people want to hear, which again suggests that because they're mindful of that, it shows that they care. This level of care of what the Iranian people think suggests to you what about the deal?
It suggests that right now, like, because you could have argued, well, okay, they cared, but now they're like, whatever, we failed or whatever, we have other pressures, we're giving up on supporting the Iranian people or keeping them on our side. Because that's a narrative that's floating out there. Like, if Trump gave up, he's gonna do a deal and leave the Iranian people to whatever the regime wants to do to them. The fact that Pete Hegseth said Persian Gulf for the first time today implies that they care enough to where they would change the behavior that way in a way that might even annoy the Arab countries, the Arab Persian Gulf countries. Um, so like that says a lot about where the administration is with regards to how much it wants the Iranian people to trust them,
That's
which
a
should tell
very
you
good
something about the deal that they're going to have.
which tells you a lot about what deal they might have. That's a very good observation, guy. I'm so glad that you brought that to our attention. I completely missed that. Thank you for it. Amazing. Okay, I'm gonna try to bring it up in the show tomorrow.
Yeah, might also be a good video if you like a solo video if you still have time to live.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I don't have time for the solo videos. I'm guys. Just to let you know, I used to do 4 live streams a day. Now I'm doing 6 live streams a day. And basically, I used to do because the internet is back on in Iran. So I'm doing 2 Persian live shows on top of what I was doing before. So instead of 6 hours of live streaming, I'm now doing 8 hours. No, wait, sorry. Instead of 8 hours of live streaming, I'm now doing 10 hours of live streaming every day. So there you go. So if I don't respond to your messages, forgive me. I'm trying my best.
Okay, to respond, first we have Yuval.
Yeah, hi guys. Just a comment, Guy. I think that you're giving too much importance to the use of semantics by the Hegseth or any other. At the end of the day, it's about the actions that they're taking. So I'm sorry to rain on anyone's parade. I'd be very happy to know that they have not abandoned the Iranian people, but to be honest, I wouldn't cling to semantics to get my hopes from. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. I think Guy was going to respond to that. Yeah. So go ahead, Guy.
So Yuval, I don't know how long you've been following like what's been going on, because I know you're at least in the group you're new. But these semantics, the fact that they would change how they call it, because this is a very touchy topic for Arab Gulf countries, Arab Persian Gulf countries, and Iranians, and Pete Hegseth would consistently, frustratingly, always call it the Arabian Gulf. Frustratingly for the Iranians, who are like, this is a really, really touchy point for them. And for him to actually, and to the point where it's highly, highly, highly likely that this was a CENTCOM edict or a U.S. military edict. The fact that he would change it and make a point of changing it, he didn't just say Gulf, he said Persian Gulf, shows a level of care about what the people inside Iran think. And I like, it's hard to explain if you weren't here for the whole like journey of, you know, of hearing him calling it the Arabian Gulf and being frustrated and seeing just how much this frustrates Iranian people, and people trying to send him, like, get messages to him to stop doing that, because it's specifically because it's alienating the Iranian people.
So Guy, this is how I would say it. Let me know if you agree. I would say that the Persian Gulf being called the Persian Gulf and is not a matter of semantic at all for the Iranian people, not at all. And it's also not a matter of semantic for the Arab countries around the Persian Gulf. If it was just semantic, they wouldn't be spending so much money and so much effort, political effort, into trying to change the name of the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Gulf, as they're trying to do. And there wouldn't be so much tension and aggression between the Iranians and the people within these Arab countries regarding the name if this was only an issue of semantics. This is a matter of border integrity between these countries, and this is a soft power tool for them to try to dominate the Persian Gulf, like take away the dominance from the Persian Gulf. And this has been a huge battle for many, many years right now, and it has a history behind it. And the Iranian people have been very frustrated over what these Arab countries have been trying to do with the name change. And the Islamic Republic has also used it as a way to try to promote itself as the defender of the name to the Iranian people, because it knows how much the Iranian people care about it. And the Iranian people have had a try to do the balance of taking a position against this, what these Arab countries are trying to do, without giving any legitimacy to the Islamic Republic trying to pretend that it is the defender of this name, right? And also the Iranian people have done so by pointing out that if we had the Shah, these Arab countries would never even dare suggest doing something like this. So fuck you, don't act like you are protecting the name of the Persian Gulf. So this has been years of years of history, and we've been in the middle of it. And the Iranian people, this is a huge red line for it, and it's impossible for Pete Hegseth not to know about this, right? And he must know how big of a deal this name is. So for him to purposefully change the reference from the Arabian Gulf to the Persian Gulf could not just be accidental. That's how I would describe it.
especially since he was so consistent about it beforehand, about calling it the Arabian Gulf every single time he spoke. And because this is such a critical topic for all the countries involved, these things, like, they really matter, and it's not an accident. It's definitely not an accident because he was very consistent about calling it the Arabian Gulf. And it means, like, that there's a cost to be paid to America for calling it the Persian Gulf, and he still did it.
Okay.
Yuval, if you can, like a 10-second response, because we have two others and we are running short.
Yeah, 10 seconds. I'm just saying that to reflect from that on how close is Iran to be free is a bit of a stretch. That's all I was saying. Thanks.
I don't think Guy suggested that this means Iran is getting close. I think Guy was just suggesting that they're mindful. Jose, your microphone is open. I think it would just suggest that they're mindful, like that names. It just shows that the Iranian people's opinions must be something that they're thinking about. That's what I think what Guy suggested. All right.
Okay, next we have Noah.
I don't remember putting a 2 in the chat. I remember putting a 1, but not a 2.
Beautiful. Next we have Sketch to respond.
Yes, I don't think any of you are looking at this militarily. You're all looking at this politically. Now, the U.S. Navy has the Navy's 5th Fleet in Bahrain, has their maps and all their equipment set to Arabian Gulf since the 90s, right? This is an operational thing. It is significant that they do the change because they have a sensitivity to the people, but I don't think it was ignored or it had the other name to annoy or to favor Arabs. It was just the name we had on the map. Military coordination is slow. If we're going to change the name on all our equipment and all our maps, it's going to take a little time. So since for the last decade, at least since the early 1990s, Gulf War era intensified with Hegseth followed the establishment of CENTCOM, and that's when changes start to happen. But this is not a political thing to the military. It's just what we call an area of operation. When you start looking at what the military does from a political standpoint, you're gonna have debates that don't center around how the military operates. Is it significant? Sure, it's significant, but it doesn't mean that when he called it the Arabian Gulf, that he was doing it to appease anyone. That would be like a wrong interpretation of how the military works. We weren't trying to appease anyone.
I don't see. The thing is that the name used to be Persian Gulf historically, and militarily, when they switched to that name, was for the appeasement of the Arab countries.
USA don't care.
Well, USA they cared enough to change. No, I know the history.
They care now, but they didn't care before. They haven't cared for 30 years.
No, they did.
What I'm saying is, we're not trying to annoy you.
Before. No, it wasn't about annoying the Iranian people. It was about the USA had a stronger relationship with the Arab countries around the Persian Gulf, and it was to do what they liked. Okay, I know the history of this because the name was Persian Gulf, and the United States, at least CENTCOM or whatever, decided to go with the Arabian Gulf because of the request of the Arab countries in that region. That name change was in response to their request. It was a political
in the 90s.
Decision. Yeah, in the 90s.
In the 90s.
So it was a political
decision.
Once
that's established, the change, right, is not something we're gonna like even look at. Like the way the military works, unless there's a big order at the top, it's not political at all, right? It may have, and I doubt. I'm going to tell you something else. It will still be confusing to commanders because this might have just happened with Hegseth. But I doubt that they have changed all the equipment. I doubt that they have changed all their maps because the map says what the map says. That's what we're going with. So I would advise against giving great political.
I don't think you could separate the political. I don't think you could separate the military from the political that much.
I mean, I was in the army. Were you in the army? Why am I here? What am I doing here? If you're not gonna like, this is my perspective. I'm just trying to tell you what I'm thinking.
Okay, I mean, you were in the army, but this is not my opinion. This is the opinions of the military experts in the army that I follow. So if I'm saying it, it's not just me. I'm not just pulling it out of my ass. I do
You're
follow.
gonna
I,
run
I,
into majors. You're gonna run into captains that are gonna make that mistake.
when I give you
take
my
them-
opinion, it's not my opinion. It's my opinion. It's the opinion that I've heard from people in the military, from generals and other military experts.
Okay.
So I
there's
don't
more
think
that-
I don't think that's the proper response by saying I was in the military, you were in the military. I don't do that.
I'm looking at the papers
I
from a
don't do
lot
that
of
to you. I don't-
generals.
Sketch, I don't do that. When you make you give me your opinions about Iran, I'm very interested in it, and I'm actually learn for you. I don't tell you that I'm Iranian, I lived in Iran, you haven't. So I don't do that to you. So I don't know why you did that to me.
Well, you are doing exactly that to me about this military thing. Like
I
what I'm
never
telling you
said-
doesn't
I
come
never
from
said-
me.
Yeah, but I never.
doesn't
I
come
give
from
you my
me.
opinion. I'm giving you my opinion. Okay, I might be wrong. You don't have to say I was in the military. You weren't. Like that. I don't know how that's an argument, right?
That would be fine if I could finish.
Okay,
But
go
you
ahead.
jump in like Piers Morgan over here, right? I think you're
Oh.
watching him so much that you're just jumping on my point and not letting me finish.
Well, if you didn't like me if you didn't like it, you could just be like, "Hey, Armin, wait, hold on, let me finish, and I will stop." Like you could just tell me that, okay? If you didn't like
Okay.
it, so, yeah.
Also, I think CNN has other jerks that like Piers Morgan. There's more than one jerk. Hassan Piker, that's a good jerk to react to. You get a lot of views from that. It's not just Piers Morgan. There's a lot of
Okay.
assholes out there you could react to. It brings views. Anyway, this is coming from a lot of captains, a lot of generals. This isn't me. This is me going through all the generals and the captains. I was like, hey, give me an overview of how many captains and generals and recently have made this mistake. And you're going to find more of them making this mistake. My point is, if you hear a captain, an admiral, a general make this mistake, and what I'm calling a mistake is calling it the Arabian Gulf, right? If you hear this mistake, I understand that you're giving importance to Pete Hegseth at the top, calling it the Persian Gulf. I would say don't give the same level of importance to this. If you hear some major, if you hear some general, if you hear some admiral, some captain say Arabian Gulf, I would take it as a custom and a mistake, not a political thing. That's like my greater point, that you may have talked to 5-10 captains and generals. I'm telling you, if 5 other captains and generals make the mistake, do not take it as a purposeful attempt at political posturing, because there are
You're
some
talking past
captains
each
and some
other.
generals that get political. There's some of them that
Okay.
get political, but I don't think this would be the way to do it.
Okay, sorry, Jeffrey, very quickly weigh in. We have to move on
The
from
one
this to
sentence.
super chats. Thank you.
So real quickly, they're both right about a part of this overall coin. There's like Armin is right in the sense that if something is said by the Secretary of War or generals, it has some impetus, political impetus. That's true. That said, I think what Sketch is trying to illustrate is that there's a difference between what is done at the top versus institutional culture throughout everything underneath it. And so it's hard to parse those nuances. I mean, that's kind of my take on it. Sorry from what I just listened because I was getting ribs. So that's my best take on that.
Okay, Armin and Guy to finish off, and in whatever order you'd like, Armin.
Guy, go ahead.
Okay, so I think you were talking past each other. No one is arguing. This was political in the 90s, and now it's just a culture. Now they call it Arabian Gulf, and they had no reason to change it because Iran was not necessarily a partner. But the fact that Pete Hegseth went out of his way to change that phrasing on the press. No one is expecting the maps to change now. It's going to be a big thing. That's not the point. The point is that he made a point of calling it the Persian Gulf in the press, unlike what he used to do, which was follow the original protocol that has existed since the 90s, which was to call it the Arabian Gulf. The fact that he changed that is the important thing. It's not, no one's blaming Pete Hegseth for having done it up until this point, calling it the Arabian Gulf. We can understand what the reason is. It's still, descriptively, it makes the Iranian people upset to hear it called the Arabian Gulf. But no one was casting blame for him doing it. But the fact that he changed it is very, very meaningful.
Yeah,
And
and
that was the whole point.
I also don't understand how what I was saying it was any negation of the points that were being brought up. I was adding points on it, and I don't know why it seemed like you got defensive.
Yeah, because you were talking past each other.
I wasn't even trying to negate anything that was being said. I just know like every military decision has a political motivation behind it. At the end of the day, everything comes back to politics, and every politics come back to economics. But one thing I want to say, again, this is not to say anything against. I'm just adding. Okay, so don't get defensive or anything like that. I'm just adding some information here. When it comes to the Iranian people, I suggest, if you care about what they think, telling them not to get defensive over people calling the Persian Gulf anything other than the Persian Gulf is going to backfire. Like if you say like, oh, don't worry, this is just this and that, they would think that you are dismissing the importance of the Persian Gulf having to remain the Persian Gulf. If you say like, oh, this is just a military thing, or this is that, or, I'm not saying again against anything what you guys saying. Okay, so just be careful, because they don't want excuses. They're like, they don't give a shit. This is the Persian Gulf, and it will always remain the Persian Gulf, and nobody should call it anything other than that. That's what their perspective is, mostly, right? Okay.
The super chats, please. And then I have a
Yes.
brief news update.
Oh, okay. Do you want to do the news update first? Is it like urgent?
Sure, as you go to pull those up. So the other day we talked about the Stratolifter being in the area. It has now left the Middle East and is headed back to Omaha. Just a little update on that plane.
Okay, all right. Sorry, by the way, guys, if I am keeping track of so many things at the same time, so sorry if sometimes I'm a bit slow. Like there's 2 chats and messages coming in at the same time. Okay, all right, I'll do the super chats. We got seven super chats. Wow, thank you guys. Fleshy Interloper saying, I think the Persian Gulf states. Thank you, Fleshy Interloper. The Persian Gulf states got on Trump's naughty list. Thank you so much for the super chat. And then we have Hezi saying Channel 12 is saying probability of US action in Iran increases along with IDF readiness. Thank you so much, Hezi, for that update. Appreciate that. That's actually a big deal. Thank you. Hezi with another super chat saying, sorry, that was 10 days old. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for the correction. Didn't check the date. My bad. Well, thank you for the correction with the Hezi. And then BT with the super chat saying, oh my God, so that Armin won't sell his body to the night. Okay. Okay. Thank you, BT. You're saving me here. And then we have Roman Cabbage with the super chat saying 10 hours live streaming, rookie numbers, breathe. Okay, I will try. I'll get those numbers up. Okay. Thank you, Roman Cabbage. And then we have Jedi with a super chat saying 6. I don't know. Is this number 6? Well, thank you for the super chat saying, dude, you need to sleep. Please don't sacrifice your sleep. I'm not going to sacrifice my sleep. I'm speeding up everything else that I do. Like I am speed eating. I'm speed reading. I'm trying to watch the news on triple speed instead of double speed. So I'm easing into watching it. Like I'm slowly increasing it to 2.5 at least. So this is what I'm trying to do. I don't want to sacrifice my sleep. Okay. But thank you for being concerned about my health. Say if you need to convert one of your shows to Persian in order to sleep, do that. I can't, because everything I'm doing is has its own purpose. So if I'm doing Persian shows, I need to add. I can't take away from anything I'm doing. But thank you, Jedi, for being concerned. And then we have Sarah. Sarah, thank you so much for the super chat. Again, always so supportive, saying, Armin, I respect the fact that you consider all opinions and that you don't shy away from a good debate. Yeah, thank you. Mothera, thank you for so much for saying that. I appreciate that. Saying I have been working on communicating my points more effectively to make them Armin worthy. Oh, thank you, Sarah. That's very sweet. I appreciate that. My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.